Hey, Deb Bixler here, cashflowshow.com. We're all about creating a consistent cash flow in your home party plan business. You know, a question that I'm often asked is, how do you tell if a trade show event is actually going to be worth your time to attend? And there's a few questions you can ask. First of all, if you're going to go as a vendor and pay big bucks, I would go as a guest first and evaluate it. That's one of the best ways, is to go as a guest and evaluate it. But if you don't have that option, there are a few questions you can ask before paying that'll help you get a better understanding on what the trade show is all about. Like, the first question would be, how many attendees did you have last year? Now, this question is open-ended question that'll give you the answer to three things. One, is it their first event? Two, whether they had tracking in place, and if it's a decent event, because if they don't have tracking in place and they don't know how many people came, I don't know if I'd go, right? And it'll also tell you how many people in attendance. So it's a multifaceted question. Another good question is, what are the demographics of the attendees? Are they moms, seniors, families? A lot of these trade shows are tailored for certain people. And so if those certain people are not your ideal candidates, then it's probably not a good trade show for you, right? One of the most important questions is, how will you promote the event? Ultimately, the organizer's job is to promote the event, not the vendors. Now, yes, the vendors should promote it as well, to a degree, but you're paying the money, they're the organizer, it's their job to organize the event. And so you should go to an event that is promoted. Are they on TV? Are they going to use radio, newspaper? Are they just inviting all the church members? It doesn't matter. I've done an event for schools, right? So it's Teacher in Service Day, and 3 schools were coming in at different times, all the teachers from each school. And so there was a traffic pattern of about 600 people in waves of 200 coming through the event. That's okay for me. It's a contained audience. But you need to know what type of event it is. Now, that particular event didn't even charge me for being there. And so I was providing a service, and they were providing a service, and we all benefited. But if you're paying $1,200, you need to know that it's going to be on TV, on the radio. How are they getting people there? If they expect you to promote the event, and that's their only promotion, don't spend your money. Maybe for a freebie, if the vendors are doing the promotion, that might be a good situation, but not if it's an expensive event. Another good question is, what other promotions or perks do the paying vendors actually receive? Usually a vendor is going to get exposure in other ways, such as, listing in the bulletin, or signs, or mention on the radio, or whatever the case may be. Could be loudspeaker announcements periodically throughout the day. Go visit booth number 62. My fantastic company is doing this, that, and the other thing. What are you going to get besides the booth? And another good question is, are there any opportunities to speak or present workshops to the attendees? Because a lot of events do that. They have workshops or educational events. And could you be a presenter? That would be extra publicity for you. Ask them, could you please tell me more information about the venue? What's provided, tables, skirts, overlays, electricity. A lot of these booths have electricity, but they're not in every single booth. So is that extra? What size is the table? Tell me about the other vendors that usually sign up with you. How many vendors will there be in total? What about duplicate direct sales companies? What about duplicate product lines? The last thing you want is to have another My Fantastic Company team right next door to you. Or, even worse, is to have another direct sales company with a very similar product line right next door to you. So if you sell Avon, you certainly don't want a Mary Kay lady down the road, right? What is their non-compete situation? What is it about taking, more than one team in the same company? And, taking the opposite look at that question, would a romance distributor be compatible with the local church ladies right next door? Who are the other vendors? What kind of say do you have in your neighbors? If it's not a business or public event, then say something like, Tell me about your school. Tell me about your charity. Tell me about the people involved. And of course, if it's a multiple day event, ask them about nighttime security, because it might not be that important, but then again, things do walk away. So I don't usually ask it, but some events require you to have insurance. So I don't usually ask the question, but when you are signing an agreement, especially for a bigger event, you want to look and see if they do require that, because it sometimes could be an added burden on you. But the reason I don't ask that question personally, especially for the smaller events, is you don't want to give them the idea. Like a lot of times the church never thought of that, right? And so you don't want to give them the idea. But you do want to know one way or the other if you're required to provide insurance. So, it's a better approach just to scan the rules, right, and see for yourself. Those are just some basic questions to ask before you sign up, before you pay your money. But, they're going to give you the information you need, at least to make an educated decision on whether the day is going to be worth your time. Honestly, the best way to find out if it's worth your time is to go as a guest the first time and get on the list for being a paying vendor the next year if you see that it is a good event. Deb Bixler here. We're all about cash flow in your home party plan business at thecashflowshow.com.